On my kicker tonight, I retain my attention on our neighboring nation of Tanzania, which is currently going through a period of national mourning. Since our independence in 1963, Kenya has had a love-hate relationship with Tanzania, sometimes based on ideological differences, such as Tanzania having socialist beginnings, while Kenyans started off as capitalist diehards. At some point in the early years of independence, it got nasty, with Tanzanian founding president Mwalimu Julius Nyerere quipping that Kenya was a man-eat-man society. It is reported that former powerful cabinet minister and blue-blood capitalist Charles Mugabe Njonjo fired back that Tanzania was, get this, a man-eat-nothing society. Now, I do not have much of an update on that eat man and eat nothing feast, but I know that journalist Michaela Wrong, not too long ago, titled her book about Kenya, quote, "It is our turn to eat," a suggestion that the eating in Kenya is done in turns, and maybe it never stopped since Nyerere spoke. The eating aside, my argument tonight is there are some vital lessons we could borrow from Tanzania. One of them is that clear sense of identity as a nation and as a people. A lot of work went into the founding of Tanzania based on strong ideological pillars resting on solid patriotic spirit. Their founding father, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, taught them undugu, brotherhood, and rallied them decisively around one flag, one nation, and one united language, Kiswahili. That is why, for those who may have traveled in Tanzania, a citizen in Mtwara in the south and one from Kagera in the northwest share a strong identity and bond with those in Pemba Island or Peramiho in the west. They share a strong national connection as principally citizens of one nation, regardless their religious, ethnic, or political backgrounds. And talking of ethnicity, Tanzanians, unlike Kenyans, do not wear their ethnic identity on their foreheads like some badge of honor. And during elections, citizens in Tanzania don't hunt each other down like animals on the basis of their political affiliations. On the political identity front, our southern neighbors also seem to have made greater strides in molding a more coherent political character. Imperfect as they may be, they are a multi-party democracy with political parties that have had a longer shelf life than most in Kenya. They have regular elections and presidential term limits that are defined not just by the Constitution, but a strong tradition put in place by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, their founding president. And an interesting point to note here is, in 1975, just at the age of only 53 years, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere announced his intention to step down as president of Tanzania 5 years later in 1980. He said that a leader must pave way for others with fresh ideas. Ironically, in that same period in Kenya, there was a strong tribalist campaign to change the constitution to prevent Vice President Daniel Arap Moi from assuming office in the event of President Jomo Kenyatta's death. As politicians in Kenya tore each other over the text of the Constitution, Mwalimu Nyerere was teaching and instilling values, traditions, and good manners independent of the written Constitution, leading eventually to the introduction of the 10-year presidential term limits when he left office in 1985. Nyerere's teachings are reflected to date as they were last week when Suluhu Hassan took the oath of office as the 6th president of Tanzania. President Suluhu Hassan swore not just by the written laws of Tanzania, but also, quote, kwa mujibu wa mila na desturi ya Tanzania, meaning customs and traditions of Tanzania. And yes, customs and traditions, that is, good practices developed over a long time, ought to define the identity of nations, including Kenya. We could, for example, learn from our neighbors that those are not acquired through writing, amending, repealing, or overhauling constitutions, but through teachings, practices, and good manners of the leaders. In our latest commotion to change the constitution, we have been repeatedly told of the Tanzanian model with reference to the structure of the executive and specifically the introduction of the office of Prime Minister. But then there is that bigger picture of the Tanzanian model that shows that it takes more than just clauses of the written constitution or a power-sharing formula for the biggest tribes to create a national identity and political culture. And to fellow patriotic Kenyans who may find it contemptuous to look across the Tanzanian border for models and lessons, I've got a little sobering reminder for you. When Kenya erupted in ethnic madness in 2007-2008, the team of eminent Africans that negotiated peace for us included a Tanzanian, the late Benjamin Mkapa, the third president of Tanzania. That is my kicker.